Yay Networks.
Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Brit Madrid Mogensen. Today we're having a cocktail because we're going to talk about the astrology of a Scandoval and why we probably could have seen this coming, but obviously none of us are diabolical freaks, so we wouldn't see this coming. This is one of the craziest things that has ever happened in pop culture history. It's everywhere. So of course we have to break it down using the cards and the stars. So here is how this episode's going to go. First, I'm going to talk to you guys about Raquel, Sandoval, and Ariana's like major sun and moon compatibility placements. We already are going to start to see some cracks there. And then I'm going to tell you guys about like my main three observations that have to do with their astrology. Number one, we have the fuckboy vibes in Sandoval's chart. I'm sorry, we're going to be honest here. Number two, we have the Pluto in Aquarius of it all, meaning Ariana is really going through a major glow up that I think we're all like happy to see. And then, of course, number three, Raquel's Saturn return happening. And yes, it's all coinciding with this major karmic moment. So we're going to talk about all of it today. Let's start with Ariana, our sweet little angel. She's definitely come out on top with this whole thing, and rightfully so. So let's look at her placements. She is a Cancer sun and a Virgo moon. Now, automatically, when I see this, it just warms my heart. People with a Cancer sun are sweet, they're kind, and they really do get along with that, like that other like Virgo energy. So people with a sun and moon that are like very cohesive, they tend to be people that really like know what they want. And it's kind of like what you see is what you get. So it's a refreshing quality that she has. She also has Aquarius rising, meaning that she is a forward thinker. She's somebody who is like, she can detach and see things from multiple sides. But when it comes down to it, she is a nurturer. That Cancer sun and that Virgo moon, it really makes her just a person who's very sweet. And these people also tend to believe others and put other people before themselves. So okay, we can see now how this kind of bit her, but I don't think that this is something she needs to change. I think this is all part of her journey. So if we look at Tom Sandoval's chart, he has a Cancer sun. Okay, so they have that Cancer sun connection. So we can see why automatically these two would gravitate towards each other. We tend to gravitate towards people that have the same sun sign or moon sign that we have. It's just like a natural connection. You feel like you kind of already know them. It's like, oh, I've known you forever. The conversation's easy. Things just kind of flow. So we can see why these two, automatically kind of clicked. And then Sandoval has a Gemini moon. And this is where we are going to run into some problems. Okay. So this is where I mentioned like the fuckboy vibes. Let's get into it because I definitely see this in his chart. Now, disclaimer, if you have any of these placements, we're looking at the dark side of astrology in this episode. So just because you have these placements doesn't mean that you fall into this category. We all have this capacity to do really good things with our placements and really bad things with our placements. So we're just going to look at the dark side right now. All right. So for Tom Sandoval, his Gemini moon makes him someone who is very comfortable with being like in two different minds. Gemini is the sign, and we're in Gemini season, by the way, but Gemini is the sign of the twins. We've heard that, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. Not only is a Gemini able to show two sides of themselves, sometimes they really don't know their own mind when it comes to this dark side of astrology. A Gemini who just like isn't well situated can be someone who truly might believe what they're saying in one instance and then change their mind and be someone else in another instance. It's a little bit crazy, right? And if you look at his Cancer sun, that means that like, so when Sheena was crying in the finale episode, for example, those were real tears because she had a real connection with him based on kindness and nurturing that she felt from him. People with a Cancer sun are nurturing, they are kind, but someone who has this Cancer sun, Gemini moon, honestly, you guys, when I say fuckboy energy, I just mean his chart takes it to another level with his capacity to misrepresent himself and like what he wants and like if he's really going to be there for you or not. This is someone who on the outside wants the Cancer sun. They want that home life. They say they're going to commit. I mean, guys, it's like classic. Like they say they're going to commit. They really think that they want that truly. Yet when it comes to their moon sign, which is what we really want, what makes us feel emotionally fulfilled, our truest nature, deep down, they actually don't want that and they fight against that. So they're constantly going to be fighting against themselves. People with Cancer, Sun, Gemini, Moon are always going to have this internal battle of like, I think I want to settle down, but maybe I don't. So, we hear like Peter Pan syndrome. This would be like a perfect example. So, this is something that I do believe that he really does struggle with, so we want to have empathy for everybody, even though we are going to kind of rip him apart here. But this is a real struggle for him. So this is something that is genuine. I don't think that he necessarily planned this out, but I do think that once he was already there, once things were in motion, it wasn't hard for him to be manipulative because he wanted to kind of have his Cancer Sun home life and have Ariana, who is also a Cancer Sun. So it's just like, it's honestly like too perfect for him to have that on one hand and then have Raquel on the other hand, because Raquel represents the side of him that is, craving change, craving something new all the time, needing excitement, and also this like non-committal kind of energy. Okay, so let's talk about Raquel's chart and the reason she was kind of the perfect person to come into this dynamic. So Raquel has a Virgo sun and a Sagittarius moon. Just like Tom Sandoval, when you first meet her with the Virgo sun, you are going to have this impression of someone who's like really kind, probably super like nurturing, maybe a little bit unassuming, which is why I think that she became such good friends with the girls before, everything came to light. So she can be like really sweet and kind, kind of like a little doe, someone that you just want to protect, you know what I mean? Like just doesn't seem very diabolical in any way, shape, or form. But then when you get to know her better, or maybe you don't ever see this side of her, but it's definitely the side of her that I think fueled the affair, her Sagittarius moon, which makes her extremely non-committal, just like that Gemini energy. And fun little fact, when you look at the zodiac wheel, you see that Gemini and Sagittarius are right across from each other. And signs that are right across from each other, they have this polarity. So they're really different, but there is like a common thread. And I would say the common thread between Sagittarius and Gemini is this need to like never have any restriction. Like they hate to be tied down. And it's just kind of like the kiss of death. Like if you tie a Sagittarius or a Gemini down, they're constantly going to be trying to escape. So the best way to like, if you are dating someone like this, or if this is you, the best way to get this placement to want to like stay in one place is to constantly be like keeping things spicy, doing new things. Like you have to keep things exciting in other ways, or else this placement is going to become really restless. So, we should have to work with our charts. However, back to Raquel, this Sagittarius moon placement made her, or I guess she had this ability to tap into a desire to like do something a little bit bad, do something a little bit, secretive, something that like no one else would know about, something that was very free. It's not like she could have expected to commit to him right away. She knew he was in a relationship. So it's almost like this freedom and like this rebellious energy. Sagittarius can be extremely rebellious because they do not like any sort of philosophy that tells them like what to do. They kind of create their own philosophy. And one other thing that they'll do is like if they get in trouble in their eyes, they get caught. Instead of apologizing, they tend to try to like create this philosophical argument for why what they did was okay. And she just seems like she never really straightforwardly apologizes and says, I was wrong. This is why. Like, she doesn't ever say that. She has this big picture where she's always kind of trying to justify in a way. And Tom Sandoval did the same thing. And that Gemini moon, I've got to say, that gives you the superpower of either being able to create an argument that is very sound and brings people over to your way of thinking, or it helps you to be really manipulative. And so we see that so clearly with them. Okay. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Ariana's birth chart and some positive things I think that are going to come from this. And then we're going to, of course, read the cards to see like, are these two going to stay together? What does the future look like? We're going to get into that when we come back. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And I've got to tell you guys, so much of my time lately has been spent trying to get my time management in order. Even just this past weekend, my husband and I had a talk, and I went to him because he's great at time management. And I was like, you know what? I've really been struggling trying to make sure that everything is right with my research for my podcast, for the television show that I produce, for and like with my friends and my family members, like I was feeling really overwhelmed. And I've got to tell you, I think that's something that we all kind of go through. So it's easy to get caught up in what other people need from you as well. And sometimes we don't balance, we don't take care of ourselves. And he and I came up with a really good idea where I'm going to start doing my best to pencil in one spot every single week in my calendar where I'm just going to have like unstructured time to do something for me, whether that's literally sitting on the couch doing nothing, playing with my dog, just whatever it is, it's going to be full on me time. And I'm pretty excited about it. So, there are other things that can help you though to get yourself in order, to help you like come up with new ideas. It's always helpful to have an outside perspective, right? And therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Personally, I've benefited from therapy in the past. I've probably been in therapy on and off since I was like, honestly, since I was in grade school. I've always been a thinker. I've always had kind of like higher anxiety and a tendency towards getting kind of depressed. I'm an overthinker. And truly, therapy and having that outside perspective, having that support helps me to cope better with like my daily life and really come up with new ideas and ways to solve problems and do things a little bit differently that I probably wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So I'm a big fan of therapy. And if this is something that you're wanting to try, if you've been thinking about it, you may want to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/BritPod today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BritPod. One of the best things about astrology is that when the worst things happen in your life, and I'm talking when you were like in an Ariana Maddox situation and you just found out your best friend was going behind your back and your boyfriend cheated on you with her or whatever it is, right? Astrology can provide some sort of explanation and it doesn't make it better, but I feel like you can find the reasons why, or at least you can have something to like go off of to try to then learn something or like better yourself. I'm a big why person. And so that's one of the things that like I love about astrology. So I had to see for Ariana, especially like why, like what could this do for her in the future? How can she take this horrible situation and move forward? And of course, the stars never let us down. I was super excited to see that this whole period of time coincided with, so she found out technically about what happened. March 1st was like the actual day that she found out the news about what happened and like what was going on. It was like when she found the videos and all that stuff on Tom's phone. Because that happened on March 1st, I was like trying to look at March for her, trying to see what else like was transpiring in her chart. And March 23rd was actually the day that Pluto entered Aquarius. And if you guys have been listening to the show, you know that Pluto entered Aquarius and it's going to be there for the next 20 years, causing a lot of transformation for people with big three planets in, or with their big three in Aquarius. So if you have your Aquarius sun, moon, or rising and you're listening to this, this goes for you too. So this is going to mark a time of intense transformation, and Pluto is the planet that is associated with death and rebirth in astrology. So I think we can totally see how this would be like a death for Ariana. Not only a death of her relationship, but I think also a death of like a side of herself. And the reason I really think that is because when I was watching the Watch What Happens live with Ariana and Andy chit-chatting about the finale episode, and they were just kind of like talking, and she was like, she came out and she looked all happy and like she looked really beautiful. And I just felt this different kind of energy from her. And if you guys watched, like, let me know if you agree with this. She seemed so much lighter than like really I've ever seen her before. And that's kind of what Pluto does. Like, there's this darkness or this like death, this like theoretical or kind of like this death in your life of some sort. And through that, you have this massive glow up because it's all about like that phoenix rising energy, like rising from the ashes, bigger, better, bolder than ever. And we see that happening with her. And I think that this was kind of what had to happen in her life to, for whatever reason, I don't know, but to get her to stand alone or to like get rid of some false beliefs, to let go of some like negativity in her life, which honestly could have literally been this guy. And maybe it was just hard for her to let go of this relationship. I will say two cancers, once they get into a relationship, they're both such like nurturers to their core that it's really hard to break up a cancer couple. And since we had two cancer sun signs, like maybe it had to just get this ugly for her to go on her own path. But for whatever reason, I do think that this marked a very dark period. Pluto likes to be dark in the beginning. I mean, it's like the death has to be dramatic, but the rebirth is going to be really amazing. So I think we're going to see a lot from her, and we'll do the cards, but I think we're going to see a lot from her in the next few years of just like her businesses flourishing. I think that we're going to see her taking on a more like leadership role. Pluto is all about being a leader, being powerful. So any places that you felt a lack of power in your life, you'll see that, especially with those big three, in Aquarius placements, you'll especially see a change. And you'll find that the places where you felt depleted of power, you all of a sudden have power because they're like experiences that are going to bring that to you. So it's really interesting stuff. I love to see that for her. And I'm really excited to like, see her built back up. And then with Raquel, all I'm going to say is people always like want to get revenge and whatever. And I get that. Trust me, I've got a Scorpio moon. Like I can be a vengeful person. Like I could just, whatever. However, this is why we never take revenge, you guys, because karma will do it for you. And we see this with Raquel. She has the ultimate, I mean, and by the way, we all have our Saturn return at some point. So it doesn't mean like you're a bad person when you have your Saturn return. But it's interesting that her Saturn return coincided exactly with this whole Scandoval breaking. So she has her Saturn in Pisces, meaning that her Saturn return started on March 7th. Okay. And March 7th was only 6 days after the news broke about the affair. So, I mean, when the astrology is in the wild, just out there proving all of this right, I love it. So, I think that with Raquel, we're going to see that her karmic um, situation, usually this karmic return energy lasts for about two. I really feel like the full effect is like about 3 years. It's like a 3-year grow up period. And we all go through it. It's a rite of passage. And it is like your young adulthood. It's like your adulthood. Like when you emerge out the other side, you're like a full on adult. That's how I kind of see it. So for her, I think that she still obviously had a lot of things that she was doing, acting in a way that's very selfish. And you know what? Everything done in the darkness comes to light. And I think this is what that was for her. There were a lot of just kind of shady things that she's doing. She's been doing them. And at this point, when your Saturn return comes, it's like you can't get away with the same things you used to get away with anymore because the universe, God, however you want to see it, wants better for you, wants more for you, including when you mess up, like Raquel. We can extend a little bit of that forgiveness to her because she's going to be going through it and learning these lessons the hard way. Because, yeah, karma does not let anything go. So she's going to experience it. She's going to go through it. So I think we'll see from her. I don't know. I don't think we'll actually see too much of her, but let's go to the cards to get some clarity and see like what's going to be happening from here on out with like, and are they even going to come back? Like, I don't know. There's so much speculation right now. So I think the cards can help us out. Okay. I'm excited about this one. So I got my tarot cards here. I've got the Golden Girls Tarot deck if you guys are listening on the podcast. And let's just get into it. Let's ask the hard-hitting questions. Let's start with, do we think Tom Sandoval and Raquel are going to end up in a relationship? Oh my God, the cards were like jumping. Jeez. Okay. Stop it. You guys, I can't take it. 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is the card of deception. I'm going to say no. This is a firm no. When you get deception as your answer to a question like that, it just means that there's too much deception in the relationship, and And not only is it between, with like everything going on outside of them, I would say also there is deception between the two of them as well. um Page 6 was reporting that like Tom was seen that Raquel is like in a facility or getting, help right now, which obviously, I mean, we're all human. We hope that she does well and recovers and we wish her the best. But while she was doing that, supposedly Tom was spotted out on some dates. There's been speculation that they already broke up. So I'm going to say 7 of Swords, there is no loyalty between the two of them. I don't think that it's this love relationship. And I can't wait to see what Tom answers when they do the reunion. And Andy's like, do you love Raquel? But that's like the cliffhanger that they keep playing over and over on Bravo. I can't wait to see what Tom answers. But okay, I digress. So yeah, the answer to that is no. They're definitely not going to, they're not in a good relationship. There's a lot of deceit between the two of them. Okay, so let's see, what was the purpose of this whole situation for Ariana? How is she transforming with that Pluto conjunct her ascendant? Like, what's going on for her? Oh, oh my gosh. Okay, Three of Pentacles. We love this. So Three of Pentacles is all about working on new projects with good people. And I love this. So isn't she doing like, she's doing like a sandwich shop, I think, right now. And she had that cocktail book that came out a while back. I think that this is telling us that she's going to be able to really lean into her projects that she has with the people that she loves, with the people that she feels comfortable with, people that support her and really care about her. Also, like in that Uber commercial, it was with Sheena and Lala. So like maybe this is Sheena and Lala. Like we're going to see her collaborating with other women that she feels comfortable with. And I think she's going to experience a lot of success because we have the pentacles there. Okay, I love it. So she's going to be in the public eye a lot more. Fantastic. Okay, good for her. And Tom. The answer, what's going on? What's going to happen with Tom? Oh, Lord. Tom's future. We could probably tell you this without the cards, but we're going to let the cards do it. Oh my God, I am floored. The 10 of Cups. What? He's going to, guys, this is so weird. Is he going to get married to like save face? I don't think it would be to Raquel. Okay, let's get another, like a clarifier. I am shaken. Shooketh, as Lisa Rinna would say. What? The Fool in reverse. Not starting anew. Not going out on his own. Guys, is he going to try to get into some like serious relationship to save face? He might. We're going to have to look out for that. I'm going to get one more. 9 of Swords. Well, we could have told you that. All the stress. 9 of Swords card is like complete stress. So here's what I think with those cards we pulled for him. I think we're going to see him get into a relationship. It might be a PR relationship. I'm going to say definitely is. It might be with someone on Vanderpump, like that's going to be like on the show with him. I don't know, but he's going to try to be in a public relationship. It's what those cards look like to me. And 9 of, it's coming from a place of anxiety, not necessarily from a good place. So I don't know. Let's get one more. That is just weird. And it can't be with Raquel because we knew that, the devil. Okay. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not going well. It's going to be selfish reasons. He's going to get himself into another serious relationship though, I think. So let's just mark that we said this on, at the time of recording, May 22nd. And we'll just all, confirm once we see this coming to fruition. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. Enjoy the rest of this Scandoval. We'll see what continues to unfold. And I will see you guys next Tuesday right here on In the Cards and Stars.